even if it's not a derby to Saints fans, boy, do they need their team to play like it's a derby, Joe Tessum, because Saints need a win here tonight. Philip Billing in his bright orange boots hacks it up towards halfway, and the first reaction to that falling ball is actually from Dominic Solanke in his gloves, and the former Chelsea Liverpool man finds Billing again. They've created a partnership. Billing with the early crossfield ball, looking to sneak in behind. It falls though for Bournemouth again as they react quickest to that ball that was headed away by Saints, and Solanke screws the shot well wide. Goal kick, but Bournemouth picking it up, Joe, immediately sending that crossfield diagonal to test Saints fullbacks, and then twice the ball coming off the initial contact picked up by Bournemouth, not Saints. 8 minutes gone on BBC Radio Solent. Joe.
Yeah, it seems like Saints are trying to match up, but you can see Bournemouth are much more comfortable in the way they play.
That's a good ball from Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and suddenly having given the ball back to Bournemouth, Saints are on the attack here down the right. Poor pass from Elyounoussi again, didn't make it easy for Adams, but he's got it back. Elyounoussi, he's on the edge of the D, he's running across the penalty area from right to left, he's got support from Perrault, early cross, fizzed in, and it's 1-0 to Saints, and Ché Adams has headed Southampton into the lead at the Vitality Stadium. It's only the second game he's scored in this season in the Premier League, all three of his goals away from home, and that's a massive goal for Saints. Bournemouth 0, Southampton 1 within the first 10 minutes.
And that's good for Southampton, because they just broke the whole Bournemouth tactic into pieces.
Here comes the free kick for Bournemouth, whipped into the penalty area. Not the best from Lewis Cook. Headed away, Adam Smith chucks it back in, there's height in there. Billing on the spin! Fantastic save for Zulu, but the flag goes up anyway. That was the most spectacular bit of football we've had in the game. Big Phil Bill put his left foot through that on the volley, and it was a great save from Bazunu, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway, which is a shame for both players, really. Bournemouth will adjust at half-time, Joe, and if they go back to the back four, they might feel more comfortable.
Yeah, but they're playing really well, they're being aggressive, and I like that.
Play down the right-hand side from Walker Peters, pulls it back into the 6-yard area, half saved by Neto, stuck a boot out to it, then his defender pokes it away and gets it back to halfway, but at the moment, Southampton in the ascendancy again.
Yeah, and Joe Rebo, that's a good cross there, and from a throw-in, it just got in and ran past every Bournemouth player, went ready, and Joe Rebo just got a toe on it, and unfortunately it was too weak.
Yeah, absolutely. So Saints giving it away again from deep inside their own half. Lewis Cook, little clever ball inside to Phil Billing, 25 yards out, time to shoot, and it's pushed away by Bazunu, 2 hands to his right, and behind for a Bournemouth corner. Saints again almost undoing themselves by not taking care of the ball. You get the impression that sometimes Saints have been happy to be under pressure, because then they've played beyond Bournemouth's midfield a few times and got in down the sides like you wanted. So you do feel they've sucked Bournemouth on a few times.
Yeah, they have.
And that ball played forward goes out of play, says the linesman, I think. What on earth? He decided he hasn't put his flag up, he put his hand up. And the players are happy. Maitland-Niles and Chris Meppen going at it. Joe Rebo's joining in. Phil Billings having his 6 pennies worth. Referee John Brooks needs to sort it out. Rebo's not happy about something, so they went to the ball together. Mepham, I think, has caught him. I think that's what Maitland-Niles has said. We've just seen a replay here. Maitland-Niles not happy with his studs up Mepham as he went through him. That's actually nasty. If VAR having a look at that, Maitland-Niles rightly angry. He's had a lot of injury problems. Lewis Cook trying to whip it in right-footed as plenty of fans still taking their seats, getting our way. In it comes into the heart of the penalty area, and it's headed wide, and that was a chance. And I think that was Phil Mepham or Marcus Senesi. It was Senesi. Chance for the Argentinian. And he's unmarked, no one within a yard of him, and he's pushed it just wide. They're living dangerously here at the Vitality Stadium. Chipped in cleverly into the penalty area by Bournemouth, held up by Solanke. Back to goal again, tries to spin inside onto his left foot, doesn't, shoots, and it's well over the top. And Bournemouth in the end will be happy they pushed him away and kept him away and off balance slightly. Bournemouth have it again though. Into the final 15 minutes here, plus stoppage time at the Vitality Stadium. Saints lead, but Bournemouth having much more pressure, but they're dispossessed there. Solanke walked into Duyar, Shaletta Sarr, and now Saints can break. Adam Armstrong scurrying into the Bournemouth half. Just Ché Adams to his right, nobody else in support. Might have to do it on his own. Finds his captain who joins him, and he's dragged that wide with his left foot. Not that easy for Ward-Prowse from that angle. He's Billing out to the right hand side, deep in the Saints half. trying to play it down that right hand side. Fredericks gives it back to the Dane, and Billing has it by the byline, pulls it back. Stanislas with his back to goal, turns it back out of the penalty area. Cross doesn't come in. It's clever from Cook, back to Stanislas, dinks it across, and the header down has absolutely no power on it, and Bazunu falls on it. It's a nice move from the Cherries, and Tavernier got ahead to it, but he couldn't get any power on it. Skimmed off his forehead and down for Bazunu, who was grateful to get it and to collapse on it.
What I would like to see of Adam Armstrong is, he puts the pace on, turns and puts pace on, but then he needs to learn to slow down and bring players in instead of just keep running.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's causing him the problem, because if he can suck people in, it's much easier for him to put pace on again.
Well, he's run into a dead end when we wanted him to pass it, and he's passed it when we wanted him to run it, so that's the decision making. But Saints are coming again. Stuart Armstrong has it, edge of the penalty, threads it through to Perrault. Perrault pulls it back to Adams. His shot is blocked, comes out for Elyounoussi, and he horribly screws it off the outside of his boot and into the stand. And now we're going to get 2 more Bournemouth changes, and we might have 1 Saints change. I think Juan Larios is going to come on. A win here at the moment with other scores would take Saints up to 14th and out of the bottom 3, but they've got to keep defending as we approach stoppage time. Ball down the right, cross by Stanislas, and this time he's got it wrong, but it got a deflection. Saints have got the set piece to defend as we go into 5 minutes of stoppage time. Tavernier, who's had a good game for the Cherries. Tavernier with his left foot from that right hand side will swing this in under the crossbar. Bazunu got a touch, and he didn't get enough of a touch. It was put back by Cook into the box, and somehow Saints have scrambled it away, and Lewis Cook has it back on this left wing. The Saints fans are starting to believe in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. They lead by a goal. Lianco plays it long. Genepo's going to pick it up. Genepo on his left foot. Oh, he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper, and Ché Adams is furious with him for not passing it and squaring it. And now Bournemouth have 1 more chance. Let's hope that doesn't come back to haunt Southampton and Genepo. Here come the Cherries down the right hand side. Tavernier with Stanislas down there. Midway inside the Saints half on the right wing. They have to play it back in field. All the blue shirts are back, but that was a golden chance for Saints to wrap it up in stoppage time like they did in the last Premier League game here. Long ball into Kiefer Moore, heads it on, comes off the head of Shaletta Sarr, back to Moore. Saints players slow to get round him. They eventually snuff out the danger, and it's dragged away by Diallo, who's done brilliantly, and the young Frenchman's got over halfway. Faced this time by Rothwell, plays it inside to Elyounoussi. He needs to use his experience, as does Stuart Armstrong. We are 3.5 minutes into the 5 minutes of stoppage time. I was just thinking the irony of Genepo can hardly score a goal in the Premier League. His last goal was here in the FA Cup, and his last league goal was 2 years ago this month. Saints' last away clean sheet was a year ago this month. But we are seconds away.
The game should be over now, Adam. How much time have we played?
It's not over yet. And Saints, as the whistle goes to John Brooks' mouth, have a win. Their first in 6 games. Their first away clean sheet since October last year, and a huge night for Southampton.